The alarm clock buzzed at 6 in the morning, but Dr. Amanda Price was already awake. She had been staring at the ceiling for the past hour, thinking about today's experiment. After 12 years of research, her team was finally ready to test the first human time travel device. Amanda walked to her kitchen and made coffee with shaking hands. The Global Temporal Research Institute had spent billions of dollars on this project. If it failed today, they might never get another chance. She looked out her window at the Swiss mountains surrounding New Geneva. The morning was clear and bright, perfect for making history. At 7:30, Amanda arrived at the institute. The building looked like any other research facility from the outside, but inside it held the most advanced technology on Earth. She walked through the security doors and headed straight to the main laboratory. The time machine didn't look like much. It was a silver chair surrounded by 6 tall metal towers. Cables ran everywhere, connecting the towers to computers and power sources. The whole setup took up half the laboratory space. Amanda had seen it thousands of times, but today it felt different. Today it would either work or destroy everything they had built. Captain Jake Morrison was already there, checking his equipment. Jake had been a space pilot for 15 years before joining the time travel project. He was calm under pressure and followed orders perfectly. Those qualities made him the perfect choice for the first human test. "Good morning, Amanda," Jake said. He wore a special suit covered in sensors. "Ready to make some history?" "I hope so," Amanda replied. She walked over to the control station where Dr. Lisa Grant was running final checks on the computers. Lisa was the smartest person Amanda had ever met. She understood space, time, and gravity better than anyone else on Earth. If the time machine worked, it would be because of Lisa's calculations. "All systems look good," Lisa said. "The power levels are stable. The temporal field generators are online. We're ready to go." Lieutenant Sam Brooks looked up from his computer screen. Sam was responsible for all the technical systems. He made sure every wire and circuit worked perfectly. "Jake, can you hear me clearly through the radio? Loud and clear?" Jake replied from the silver chair. The plan was simple. Jake would travel back in time exactly 24 hours. He would appear in the same laboratory, but yesterday, the test would only last 5 minutes before he returned to the present. If everything worked, they would have proof that time travel was possible. Amanda took a deep breath. "This is it, everyone. Jake, are you ready? Ready as I'll ever be," Jake said. "Lisa, start the countdown. Beginning temporal displacement in 10 seconds, Lisa announced. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, activating. The metal towers began to glow with blue light. The air around Jake shimmered like heat waves. Then, with a sound like thunder, Jake disappeared. Amanda stared at the empty chair. Did it work? Sam checked his instruments. The temporal field collapsed successfully. Energy readings show the displacement occurred. But where is he? Amanda asked. Lisa frowned at her computer. According to the calculations, he should be in this exact location, but 24 hours ago. They waited. The plan was for Jake to return automatically after 5 minutes. Amanda watched the clock on the wall. 1 minute passed, then 2, then 3. "Something's wrong," Sam said. "I'm getting strange readings from the field generators." "What kind of readings?" Amanda asked. "They're showing Jake's location, but it doesn't make sense. According to this, he's floating in empty space, about 90,000 miles from Earth." Lisa's eyes widened. "Oh no, I think I know what happened." "What?" "We calculated Jake's position relative to the laboratory, but we forgot about Earth's movement. The planet moves around the sun at 67,000 miles per hour. In 24 hours, Earth travels over 1.5 million miles through space." Amanda felt sick. "You mean Jake appeared where Earth was yesterday, not where the laboratory was?" "Exactly. He's floating in space where our planet was 24 hours ago." The room fell silent. Jake was lost in the vacuum of space, probably already dead. The first human time travel experiment had become a disaster. Then Sam's computer started beeping. "Wait, I'm getting a signal. Jake is trying to activate the return sequence." "That's impossible," Lisa said. "Even if he survives somehow, the return coordinates would be wrong too. He would appear where Earth will be in 5 minutes from now, not where Earth is now." The blue lights appeared again around the empty chair. The air shimmered. With another sound like thunder, Jake Morrison appeared back in the laboratory. He was alive. He was breathing. He was exactly where he was supposed to be. Jake. Amanda ran to him. Are you okay? What happened? Jake pulled off his helmet. His face was pale, but he was smiling. That was incredible. I appeared in space, just like you said. I could see Earth in the distance. But when I activated the return sequence, I ended up back here perfectly. That's impossible, Lisa said. The calculations show you should have appeared in empty space again. Well, the calculations are wrong, Jake said. The machine brought me back to Earth, not to some random point in space. Sam ran more tests on the equipment. This is very strange. The time machine is working, but not the way we expected. It's like the device knows where Earth is, no matter when it is. Amanda looked at the readings on Sam's screen. The numbers didn't match any no physics. Run the test again. We need to understand what's happening. Again, Jake asked, if you're willing. This time we'll monitor everything more carefully. Jake nodded. Let's solve this mystery. As they prepared for the second test, Amanda realized they had discovered something much more important than simple time travel. Their machine was doing something that should have been impossible. It was locked onto Earth itself, following the planet through space and time in ways that defied everything they knew about physics. She had no idea that this strange malfunction would soon change the fate of the entire universe. 3 months had passed since Jake's first time travel test. The research team had run dozens more experiments, and each one proved the same thing. Their time machine worked perfectly, but only around Earth. It could send people or objects back and forward in time, but they always appeared exactly where Earth was at that moment in history. Dr. Amanda Price sat in her office, staring at reports that made no sense. According to every law of physics she knew, their time machine should not work, yet it did. The device somehow tracked Earth's movement through space automatically. It was as if the planet had some kind of invisible anchor in time itself. The mystery was about to get much bigger. Lieutenant Sam Brooks burst into Amanda's office at 8 in the morning. His face was pale with excitement and fear. Amanda, you need to come to the observatory right now. We have visitors. Visitors from space. A ship just appeared in Earth's orbit. It's not from any country on our planet. Amanda's heart raced. She had dreamed of first contact with aliens since she was a child, but she never expected it to happen during her time travel research. She followed Sam to the observatory. On the top floor of the institute, Dr. Lisa Grant was already there, looking through the main telescope. It's incredible, she said. The ship is about 2 miles long and made of some kind of metal we've never seen before. It's beautiful. Amanda looked through the telescope. The alien ship looked like a crystal made of silver and gold. It moved smoothly through space without any visible engines or propulsion system. Have they tried to communicate? Yes, Sam said. They sent a message in perfect English about an hour ago. They want to meet with our time travel research team. They know about our experiments. Apparently so. They said they've been watching our temporal field tests with great interest. Within 6 hours, the first alien shuttle landed at the institute. Amanda stood with her team as the craft's door opened. The beings inside looked almost human, but their skin was pale blue and their eyes were silver. They moved with grace and dignity. The leader of the aliens stepped forward. He wore a device around his neck that glowed softly when he spoke. Greetings, people of Earth. I am Commander Vex of the Zephyrian Empire. We come in peace and friendship. Double quotes. Dr. Helen Murphy, Earth's top expert on biology, had been called in to help with first contact. She stepped forward carefully. Welcome to Earth, Commander. I am Dr. Murphy. We are honored to meet you. The honor is ours, Commander Vex replied. We have traveled far to study your remarkable achievement. Our achievement, your time travel, technology, and all our centuries of exploration. We have never encountered a species that successfully built a working time machine. Amanda felt confused. But surely your people have time travel technology. Your science must be far more advanced than ours. Commander Vex touched his translation device. May I show you something? The Zephyrian gestured to his companions, who brought out a device that looked similar to Earth's time machine, but much smaller and more elegant. This is our temporal displacement unit. It has worked perfectly for over 1,000 years. Watch what happens when we try to use it here. One of the Zephyrian soldiers stepped into their time machine. Commander Vex activated the device. Blue light surrounded the soldier, and he disappeared with a sound like wind chimes. He has traveled back 1 hour in time, Commander Vex explained. In normal space, he would reappear exactly where he started, but 1 hour ago. But here, near your planet, watch what happens. They waited for several minutes. Then the blue light appeared again, but the soldier did not appear where he had started. Instead, he materialized about 60,000 miles away, floating in empty space. The Zephyrians quickly used their ship to rescue him. Your world creates the same malfunction in our time machines that we have observed in yours, Commander Vex said. The difference is that your machines compensate for this malfunction automatically. Ours do not. Captain Ben Turner, head of Earth's Defense Council, had been listening carefully. Commander, are you saying that our time machines work differently than yours? Not differently, better. Your devices solve a problem that we have never been able to fix. Lisa stepped forward. What problem? Commander Vex looked at his companions before answering. Time travel requires precise calculations of position in space. When you move through time, you must account for planetary motion, solar drift, galactic rotation, and universal expansion. Every civilization we have encountered struggles with this problem. How do other species handle it? Amanda asked. Most cannot. They build time machines that only work in deep space, far from any gravitational influence. Some try to calculate planetary positions, but the mathematics are incredibly complex. Small errors result in time travelers appearing in empty space or inside solid matter. Dr. Kate Williams, a physicist specializing in gravity, had joined the meeting. So most civilizations can't use time travel for practical purposes? Correct. Time travel is mostly used for scientific research in controlled environments. But your machines work anywhere on or near your planet. They automatically track Earth's position through space and time. This should be impossible. Sam checked his instruments. Commander, we've been trying to understand this ourselves. Our time machines produce energy readings that don't match any known physics. That is why we came to your world, Commander Vex said. We have studied temporal mechanics for millennia. Your planet is unique in the galaxy, perhaps in the entire universe. Unique how? Amanda asked. Commander Vex walked to the window and looked out at the Swiss mountains. We have visited over 10,000 worlds. We have met hundreds of intelligent species. Every one of them has struggled with the same temporal displacement problem. Everyone except humanity. But we're the youngest species you've met, Helen said. How can we have better technology than civilizations thousands of years older? You do not have better technology, Commander Vex replied. You have a better world. Earth itself makes time travel possible in ways that other planets cannot. Lisa felt her mind racing with possibilities. Are you saying there's something special about Earth's position in space? More than position. Something about Earth's relationship with time itself. We have theories, but no proof. That is why we request permission to study your world alongside your scientists. Ben Turner looked worried. What kind of studies? Non-invasive analysis of your planet's gravitational fields, magnetic properties, and temporal characteristics. We wish to understand why time travel works here when it fails everywhere else. Amanda looked at her team. This was the opportunity of a lifetime. Working with an advanced alien civilization could advance human science by thousands of years. But it also meant sharing Earth's secrets with strangers from another world. We would be honored to work with you, Amanda said finally, but we have conditions. Name them. Complete transparency. We share all our research with you, and you share all your research with us. No secrets. Commander Vex smiled, and Amanda realized that Zephyrian smiles looked just like human smiles. Agreed. Together, we will solve the mystery of your remarkable world. As the Zephyrians prepared to set up their research equipment, Amanda felt both excited and nervous. She had wanted to understand why their time machines worked so strangely. Now she was about to learn that Earth's uniqueness went far deeper than she had ever imagined. The aliens had come seeking answers about time travel, but their arrival would soon reveal a secret that had been hidden on Earth for millions of years. 2 weeks after the Zephyrians arrived, Dr. Ryan Clark made a discovery that changed everything. Ryan was an archaeologist who spent most of his time digging in deserts and ancient ruins. He had been called to help the joint human-alien research team because of his expertise in finding hidden structures. Ryan was working in the Sahara Desert with his team when their equipment started acting strangely. They were using ground-penetrating radar to map underground formations. When the devices began showing impossible readings, "This can't be right," said Dr. Carol Reed, the team's language expert. She was looking at the radar screen with confusion. "According to this, there's a massive structure buried here. But it's huge, bigger than any ancient building we've ever found. Ryan wiped sweat from his forehead. The desert heat was brutal, but the readings were too important to ignore. How big are we talking about? The structure appears to be over 5 miles long and 2 miles wide, and it's deep, at least 300 feet underground. Professor Nancy Bell, who specialized in ancient technologies, joined them at the radar station. That's not possible. No ancient civilization had the technology to build something that large. Maybe it's natural, Carol suggested, a rock formation or underground cave system. Ryan shook his head. Look at these patterns. Those are straight lines and perfect angles. Nature doesn't work that way. This was built by someone. The team spent 3 days mapping the underground structure. The more they discovered, the more confused they became. The buried complex was perfectly preserved and showed signs of advanced technology, energy. Readings indicated that something inside was still active after thousands of years. When Ryan reported his findings to the Research Institute, Amanda and Commander Vex immediately flew to the dig site. The Zephyrian brought portable scanners that could penetrate much deeper than human equipment. Remarkable, Commander Vex said as he studied the alien scanner results. This structure is emitting the same temporal field signatures we detected. In your time machines, Amanda felt her heart racing. Are you saying there's time travel technology buried under the desert? More than that, the energy output is enormous. Whatever is down there has been running continuously for a very long time. Colonel Steve Hayes arrived the next day with a military engineering team. Steve was responsible for security and all the research sites. He brought equipment that could dig through hundreds of feet of sand and rock quickly. How long will it take to reach the structure? Amanda asked. With our heavy machinery, about a week, Steve replied. But we need to be careful. If there's active technology down there, we don't want to damage it. The excavation took exactly 9 days. As they dug deeper, the team found layers of different materials. Some looked like metal, but they were harder than anything on Earth. Other layers seemed to be made of crystal that glowed with soft light. On the 10th day, they broke through into a vast underground chamber. The ceiling was over 100 feet high and stretched beyond the reach of their lights. Ancient machines lined the walls, humming with quiet energy. This is incredible, Nancy whispered as she stepped into the chamber. This technology is millions of years old, but it's still working perfectly. Commander Vex scanned the chamber with his devices. The temporal field strength here is off our measurement scales. This is the source of Earth's time travel anomaly. In the center of the chamber stood a massive machine that looked like a giant crystal surrounded by metal rings. The crystal pulsed with blue light that matched the color of Earth's time machine fields. The entire structure was easily the size of a city block. What is it? Ryan asked. I believe it's a temporal anchor, Commander Vex replied, a device designed to stabilize time and space in this region of the galaxy. Carol approached one of the wall machines carefully. There are symbols here, writing of some kind. But it's not from any human civilization I know. As Carol studied the symbols, they began to glow brighter. Suddenly, the air above the symbols shimmered and three-dimensional images appeared. The images showed beings that looked different from both humans and Zephyrians. They were taller than humans, with pale skin and large eyes, a holographic recording. Nancy said in amazement, "These images are showing us the people who built this place." The holographic beings began to move and speak. Their language was musical and complex, but the translation devices the Zephyrians brought were able to decode it slowly. "We are the architects," the holographic leader said. "If you are seeing this message, then intelligent life has returned to this world. We built this facility to preserve the stability of time and space in this region of the galaxy." Amanda stepped closer to the hologram. Why did they choose Earth? The holographic architect continued speaking. This world sits at a unique convergence, point of gravitational fields from multiple star systems. The natural temporal stability here is unlike anywhere else we have discovered. We have enhanced this stability to create a temporal sanctuary. Commander Vex translated rapidly as more holograms appeared. They're explaining their technology. The temporal anchor doesn't just enable time travel around Earth. It protects this entire sector of space from something they call temporal collapse. What's temporal collapse? Steve asked. The holograms showed images of star systems disappearing, leaving nothing but empty space behind. The universe has a tendency to correct temporal paradoxes by erasing entire timelines. The architect explained, when civilizations develop time travel technology, They often create paradoxes that threaten the stability of reality itself. Carol worked frantically to translate more of the text on the walls. According to this, the architects encountered the temporal collapse phenomenon in other parts of the galaxy. Entire civilizations were erased from existence when their time travel experiments went wrong, so they built this anchor to prevent that from happening here. Amanda realized. The holographic architect nodded as if responding to her words. The temporal anchor ensures that time travel near this world remains stable and safe. Paradoxes are automatically resolved without damaging the timeline. This is why your time machines work when others fail. But then the hologram's expression became serious. However, we must warn you. The temporal anchor requires enormous energy to function. We built it to last for millions of years, but it is not eternal. If the anchor fails, the temporal collapse will spread across the entire universe. The chamber fell silent as everyone absorbed this information. Earth wasn't just unique because of its time travel capabilities. It was the last barrier protecting the entire universe from a cosmic disaster. Dr. Paul Baker, a theoretical physicist who had joined the excavation team, studied the energy readings from the temporal anchor. According to these measurements, the device is running at about 60% capacity. It's been slowly losing power for thousands of years. How long before it fails completely? Amanda asked. Paul ran calculations on his computer. At the current rate of decline, maybe 50 years. Possibly less if something puts additional strain on the system. Commander Vex looked worried for the first time since arriving on Earth. We must contact our government immediately. If Earth's temporal anchor fails, it will affect our entire civilization. Not just your civilization, Amanda said grimly. According to the architects, it will affect the entire universe. As they prepared to leave the underground chamber, Ryan noticed more holographic messages activating throughout the complex. The architects had left detailed records of their work, but they had also left warnings about something else. Something that made temporal collapse look small by comparison. The team didn't know it yet, but their discovery of the temporal anchor had triggered automatic signals that were now racing across the galaxy. Those signals would soon attract the attention of the very disaster the architects had tried to prevent. Earth's secret was no longer hidden, and something ancient and terrible was coming to reclaim what the architects had tried to protect. 6 weeks after discovering the architect's temporal anchor, Dr. Monica Gray spotted something terrifying through the deep space telescopes. Monica was Earth's best astronomer, and she had been scanning the galaxy for any signs of the temporal collapse the architects had warned about. What she found was worse than anyone had imagined. Amanda, you need to see this immediately, Monica said over the phone at 3 a.m. Her voice was shaking with fear. Amanda drove to the observatory as fast as she could. She found Monica staring at a computer screen filled with data that made no sense. What am I looking at? It's a region of space about 400 light-years from Earth, Monica explained. 3 days ago, this area contained 17 star systems. Now there's nothing there. Not empty space. Nothing. It's like those star systems never existed. Amanda felt cold despite the warm night. Show me the before and after images. Monica pulled up the photographs taken by the Hubble Space Telescope. The first image showed bright stars and colorful nebulae. The second image, taken just days later, showed pure blackness. Not the darkness of empty space, but a void that seemed to absorb light itself. This is temporal collapse, Amanda whispered. The thing the architects warned us about. It gets worse, Monica said. The void is moving. It's spreading toward our section of the galaxy at incredible speed. Amanda called an emergency meeting with the entire research team. Within hours, humans and Zephyrians were gathered in the main conference room, studying Monica's data. Commander Vex looked at the images with growing alarm. We know about this phenomenon. Our people call it the Devourer. It has been consuming star systems across the galaxy for over 2,000 years. Captain Luke Foster, who now served as the main contact between human and Zephyrian forces, leaned forward. You knew about this and didn't tell us? We did not know it was connected to temporal technology, Commander Vex replied. We thought it was some kind of natural cosmic disaster. Our scientists believed it was caused by dark matter interactions or gravitational anomalies. Dr. Sandra Lee, who had been working with the Zephyrian scientists, shook her head. According to the architect records, this is definitely temporal collapse. Every civilization that develops time travel technology eventually creates paradoxes. that weaken the fabric of space-time, but we've been careful with our time travel experiments. Amanda protested. We followed all the safety protocols. It's not just us. Commander Vex said sadly, my people have been using time travel technology for centuries, so have dozens of other civilizations across the galaxy. The damage accumulates over time. Dr. Jana King, who had been studying the architect holographic records, brought up new information. According to what I've translated, every time someone travels through time, they create tiny cracks in reality. Most of these cracks heal themselves, but some don't. Over thousands of years, the unhealed cracks spread and connect. And when enough cracks connect, you get temporal collapse. Sandra finished. Reality becomes so unstable that entire regions of space-time simply stop existing. Monica showed them more telescope images. The collapse zone is moving toward us at about 1 light year per day. At that speed, it will reach Earth's solar system in less than 2 years. The room fell silent as everyone processed this information. Earth had less than 2 years before the temporal collapse would erase their entire solar system from existence. Can we stop it? Amanda asked. Commander Vex consulted with his scientific team through his translation device. We have tried many times. Every attempt has failed. The collapse feeds on temporal energy. When we use time travel technology to try to prevent it, we only make it stronger. Dr. Diana Webb, who had been coordinating evacuation planning for other emergencies, spoke up. Can we evacuate Earth's population to somewhere safe? There is nowhere safe, Commander Vex replied. The collapse will eventually consume the entire universe. It might take millions of years, but it will happen unless someone finds a way to stop it. Paul Baker had been running calculations on his computers. Wait, look at this. The collapse is slowing down as it approaches our region of space. Monica checked her telescope data. He's right. The collapse was moving at 1 point to light years per day when I first detected it. Now it's down to 0.9 light years per day. Earth's temporal anchor, Amanda realized, is providing resistance against the collapse. Commander Vex studied the readings. The anchor is creating a stabilized zone around your solar system. The collapse cannot move as quickly through stabilized space-time, but the anchor is already losing power, Paul reminded them. It's down to 60% capacity, failing slowly. Sandra ran more calculations. If the collapse continues to slow down as it approaches Earth, we might have 5 years instead of 2, but once it reaches the outer edge of our solar system, the temporal stress will overload the anchor completely. Then we have 5 years to find a solution, Amanda said, or to prepare for the end of everything. Commander Vex added quietly, over the next few weeks, the joint humans effort in research team worked desperately to understand the temporal collapse. They studied the architect records, analyzed the approaching void, and tested dozens of theoretical solutions. Nothing worked. Every plan they developed required more temporal energy than they had available. Worse, using their time machines to implement any plan would feed more energy to the collapse, making it stronger. We're trapped, Jake Morrison said during one late-night meeting. We need time travel technology to fix the problem, but using time travel technology makes the problem worse. The architects faced the same dilemma. Carol said she had been working around the clock to translate more of the ancient records. According to their logs, they watched the collapse consume half the galaxy before they found Earth and built the temporal anchor, so they didn't stop the collapse, Amanda said. They just delayed it. Not delayed, contained. The anchor doesn't just protect Earth. It prevents the collapse from spreading beyond this region of space. As long as the anchor functions, the rest of the universe is safe. Commander Vex looked up from his own research. But if the anchor fails when the collapse reaches Earth, the collapse will resume spreading at full speed. Carol replied, it will consume the entire universe within a few million years. Amanda stared out the window at the night sky. Somewhere out there, an invisible wave of nothingness was approaching Earth at incredible speed. When it arrived, it would either be stopped by the failing temporal anchor, or it would continue on to destroy everything that had ever existed. There has to be something we can do, she said. Jake stood up and walked to the window beside her. Maybe there is. The architects built the temporal anchor to contain the collapse, but they never tried to reverse it. Reverse temporal collapse? Paul asked. The energy requirements would be enormous. We'd need to overload every time machine on Earth simultaneously, and that would definitely destroy the temporal anchor, Sandra added. We'd have one shot, and if it failed, we'd have no protection left. Amanda made a decision that would determine the fate of the universe. Then we better make sure it works. Start planning for a complete temporal anchor overload. We're going to try to reverse the collapse. As the team began working on the most desperate plan in human history, none of them noticed the strange readings appearing on their instruments. The approaching temporal collapse was causing reality itself to become unstable around Earth. Time was running out faster than anyone realized. The temporal collapse reached the edge of Earth's solar system on a Tuesday morning in October. Dr. Monica Gray watched through her telescopes as Pluto simply stopped existing. One moment the distant planet was there, and the next moment there was nothing but void. It's starting, Monica announced over the communication system. The collapse has entered our solar system. Amanda stood in the main control room of the Global Temporal Research Institute, surrounded by screens showing data from around the world. Every time machine on Earth was connected to the network they had built over the past months. Today, they would either save the universe or watch it die. The plan was simple in theory, but incredibly dangerous in practice. They would overload the architect's temporal anchor, creating a massive shock wave that might reverse the temporal collapse. But the energy required was enormous, and they would have only one chance to get it right. Captain Eddie Brown led the team that had descended into the ancient chamber beneath the Sahara Desert. Eddie was a former submarine commander who specialized in dangerous missions in tight spaces. If anyone could manually trigger the temporal anchor's overload sequence, it would be Eddie. Control. This is Eddie. His voice crackled through the radio. I'm at the main control panel. The architect hologram is active and showing me the overload procedure. Copy that, Eddie. Amanda replied, remember, you'll have exactly 30 seconds to reach the safe zone once you start the sequence. Understood. I'm ready when you are. Dr. Rachel Davis was monitoring power levels from every reactor. On Earth, the plan required channeling all of humanity's electrical power into the temporal anchor at exactly the right moment. All power stations are standing by, Rachel announced. We have enough energy for one attempt. Colonel Frank Torres was coordinating with world governments to ensure everyone was prepared. All major cities had been evacuated to emergency shelters. Frank reported, the temporal shock wave will be felt worldwide. Dr. Laura Green was watching the collapse approach from the surface monitoring station. Neptune just disappeared, she said quietly. The void is moving faster now that it's inside our solar system. Commander Vex and his Zephyrian team were in orbit, ready to monitor the results from space. We are detecting massive temporal distortions throughout the solar system, Vex reported. Reality itself is becoming unstable. Strange things were happening all over Earth. Ships disappeared and reappeared hours out of sync with normal time. Buildings flickered between existing and not existing. People reported seeing their own past selves walking through the streets. Uranus is gone, Laura announced. The collapse is accelerating. Amanda looked at her team. They had worked together for over a year, preparing for this moment. Now it was time to find out if their desperate plan would work. Saturn just vanished. Laura said, Jupiter is starting to flicker. That's it. Amanda decided, we can't wait any longer. Eddie, begin the overload sequence. Starting now, Eddie replied from deep underground. The architect controls are responding. Overload sequence initiated. The massive crystal in the underground chamber began to glow brighter than ever before. Ancient machines that had run quietly for millions of years started humming with incredible energy. All power stations redirect full output to the temporal anchor, Rachel commanded. Around the world, every nuclear reactor, solar panel, and wind turbine focused their energy toward the desert facility. Eddie, you need to get out of there now, Amanda said urgently. On my way. Eddie replied, the whole chamber is shaking. This thing is about to blow. The energy readings in the control room went beyond anything they had ever seen. The temporal anchor was drawing power not just from Earth's reactors, but from the fabric of space-time itself. Jupiter is gone, Laura reported. Mars is flickering. How long until the shock wave reaches the collapse? Amanda asked. Dr. Melissa Wright, who had been calculating the timing, checked her computers. 30 seconds until the anchor overloads. 1 minute until the shock wave propagates through the solar system. Eddie, where are you? Amanda called into the radio, almost to the surface. Eddie replied breathlessly, this whole place is coming apart. The temporal anchor reached critical overload. Just as Mars disappeared from existence, the ancient crystal exploded with a light that could be seen from space, sending shock waves through dimensions that humans had never imagined. But instead of creating a simple shock wave, the overloaded anchor did something much more dramatic. It transformed Earth itself into a temporal lighthouse, broadcasting stabilizing waves across the galaxy. Incredible, Commander Vex reported from orbit. The temporal shock wave is not just stopping the collapse, it's reversing it. Amanda watched, her instruments in amazement. The void that had consumed Mars was shrinking. The planet flickered back into existence, exactly as it had been before the collapse reached it. Jupiter is back, Laura announced with excitement. Saturn too. The collapsed regions are being restored. The temporal lighthouse effect spread beyond Earth's solar system. Commander Vex reported that his homeworld, which had been consumed by the collapse years earlier, was suddenly visible again through their ship's telescopes. How is this possible? Amanda asked. Dr. Wright studied the readings from the overloaded anchor. The architects built better than they knew. The temporal anchor wasn't just designed to contain collapse, it was designed to reverse it. But only if given enough power. And we gave it the power of an entire planet, Rachel realized. The restoration continued for hours. Star systems that had been erased from existence reappeared across the galaxy. The temporal collapse didn't just stop. It was completely undone. But the victory came at a cost. When the temporal lighthouse effect finally ended, Earth's unique time travel properties were gone. The planet had used up its temporal energy to save the universe. Jake Morrison tried to activate one of their time machines, but nothing happened. The temporal fields are dead. He reported, our time travel technology no longer works. Neither does ours, Commander Vex confirmed. The temporal shock wave has neutralized all time travel capability in this region of space. Amanda felt sad about losing their time travel technology, but she also felt proud. Humanity had made the ultimate sacrifice to save everything that existed. Over the following months, representatives from dozens of alien civilizations arrived at Earth. The Zephyrians had spread the word about what humanity had done. Species from across the galaxy came to thank the people who had saved the universe. The aliens formed a new alliance with Earth at its center, while other races explored the stars. Humans became the guardians of temporal stability. They studied the remains of the architect's technology and learned to detect early signs of temporal collapse. Earth could no longer manipulate time, but humanity had gained something far more important. They had proven that true strength came not from power over the universe, but from wisdom about when to sacrifice that power for the greater good. Years later, children across the galaxy would learn about the day when Earth's time machine stopped working and saved everything that ever was or ever would be. They would learn that sometimes the greatest victory comes from giving up what makes you special to protect what makes everyone else possible. The temporal lighthouse had gone dark, but its light would be remembered forever. Humanity had lost their unique gift, but they had gained the respect and friendship of the entire universe. And in a cosmos where time travel was no longer possible, that friendship would last for all time.